Frontier by Maggot Moshpit, Chapter 7. Lef sat on a crate in front of all the colonists, attempting to gather his thoughts as they watched him, murmuring among themselves. Lena, Toliko, and Yar stood with them, waiting.
Hey, Lena, what's all this about, and what was going on earlier?
Yar chimed in with Toliko.
Yeah, and why are you wearing the same clothes as you were yesterday?
Lef is about to explain it. The situation is bad, though. As for my clothes, that's none of your business.
They both looked at her skeptically, and she held up a paw.
Now's not the time. Things are worse than you think.
Lef finally stood and addressed the crowd.
Everyone, some of you may have heard of Bowman's planet and how its population mysteriously vanished. Well, they haven't vanished. They've been forced into a cult. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but it's the truth. We've been captured by some of these cultists, and we're being towed back to Bowman's planet to become slaves.
The crowd became restless. Disbelief and anger was clear on the faces of most of the colonists. One of them shouted,
"Is this some kind of sick joke?"
Sue, who was standing nearby, jumped onto the crate as well.
This is no joke! I escaped from Bowman's planet. I had the scars to prove it.
He lifted his shirt, and plainly showing through his fur were many small scars.
They punished me as a child when I didn't behave. As soon as I could, I escaped. Unfortunately, I led them right to you when Lef came to my aid. For that, I am sorry.
Lef continued.
But we've got a plan. Sue tells me he knows the workers' residence inside and out. He'll find us an escape route. There is a time limit, however. Part of the ideology of these people is that Fox Atrians are the physical embodiment of evil and must be sacrificed to their gods. There is a ritual preparation that takes 12 hours at least. So unless we escape by then, those bastards will kill all the foxes in this room, including our first officer and my pilot.
The crowd began to build panic like an overloading drive, and unless something was done, it would explode. Toliko looked at Lena.
Is what he says true?
Lena nodded solemnly.
Yes. I had a similar reaction, but I have confidence Lef will get us out of this.
Lena gulped.
I hope.
Lef threw up his arms.
Please don't panic. The last thing we need is to be so scared we trip over our own shoelaces. It won't be long until we arrive at Bowman's planet, and until then, me and the crew will be putting our brains together. If any of you think of anything useful, don't hesitate to come forward.
Lef spotted Rackham in the crowd, made eye contact, and beckoned as he jumped off the crate. Rackham walked over, his usual demeanor seeming much less inviting.
Rackham, I need you to keep these folks from mass panic or doing anything rash. My bet is that soon as the shock wears off, they'll want to fight.
You'd bet right, I'd reckon. You sure we can't take 'em? I mean, if it came to that.
Lef shook his head.
Remember what you told me?
Yes, and I was right.
Lef patted Rackham on the shoulder.
Take care.
You too, Lef.
Lef waved to Sue and Lena as they exited the converted cargo bay. They headed directly to the conference room where Sir Leah, Fellow, and Zack waited. Zack waved a datapad.
I got the schematics from your ship, Sue. Looks like you have a pretty detailed map of the settlements on Bowman's planet.
Sue took the pad and laid it on the table.
I took a scan before I left. I mean, I didn't do the scan myself. I took it, as in, stole it.
He brought up what looked like a giant holding pen.
It may not look like it, but this whole thing is 18 feet below ground. It's guarded well, and the ventilator shafts are on the ceiling, much too high to reach.
Sir Leah shrugged.
Then what do we do? It seems pretty well protected.
Sue zoomed in on a small room, shooting off the main chambers. Lef took a closer look.
The restroom? You don't expect us to crawl around in a pile of shit, do you?
Well, at the moment, these pens are empty, so they've cleared out the pit. They don't have proper facilities. But see here?
He pointed to a tube leading from the bottom of the pit.
This leads into the ocean. Once in a while, they flood the pit, and everything goes out to sea. We can't get everyone out at once, but a small team can escape and come back to unlock the front doors.
Feldo looked at the pad.
It says it's a 9-foot drop to the bottom. It's cutting it pretty close.
Sue shrugged.
We can improvise.
The ship rocked a small amount. Zack stood.
We've come out of hyperspace.
Lef also stood.
Let's greet our new friends.
The five stood before the boarding ramp doors. The ship rocked once more as the other ship landed them on the surface, and soon the airlock opened to the backdrop of a ruined landing pad. Standing in front of 8 armed and ready men was the lion Lef had spoken to. He looked up and spread his arms.
We are blessed by this boon you have given us, La Roja.
He smiled a toothy smile and looked at the greeting party.
You are about to enter holy service. Cheer up. I am Bowman.
Celia snorted.
You aren't Bowman. Bowman was the original leader of Bowman's planet.
The men pointed their guns at Celia. Bowman roared.
Cease your evil tongue! Did I tell you could speak, fox? I killed Bowman in hand-to-hand combat, so I took his name. It decrees it so in the scripture of La Roja.
Bowman looked at Lef.
You look like you're in charge here. Keep those foxes submissive.
Lef bared his teeth.
Those foxes are my officers! I don't care what your scripture says, they are your equals if not your betters!
Bowman unsheathed his claws and sliced them across Lef's face as quick as lightning.
Arrgh!
Lef fell to the floor, a paw on his face. Lena gasped and was at his side in an instant.
Lef!
Bowman approached her.
See how they feign concern? The intent is written plainly on their faces. Has this one seduced you, my friend?
Lef stood shakily.
I'm fine, Peach.
Only one of Bowman's claws had connected with Lef's face, but the ugly, jagged mark ran from his forehead along his muzzle and ending at his nose. Lef said nothing to Bowman, only stared him down with cold eyes. Bowman signaled to his men.
No matter. What evil vices you indulge in is no business of mine. Take them.
The men came forward, each one looking hardened and tough. They wore the bog-standard clothes any normal colonist would wear, but each one had a symbol pinned to their shirt. A diamond with a twisted tree in its center. They brandished their old energy weapons as they came forward and threw sacks over the heads of the 5 and dragged them off. The last thing Lef heard before he was dragged off was Bowman ordering more men.
Grab more sacks, men, and shoot whoever tries to fight back or escape.
Lef was dragged roughly along a winding path. The arm of his captor had him in a tight headlock, preventing him from speaking or breathing properly. After a short time, he was thrown to the floor. His captor ripped off the mask and knelt beside him as he coughed.
Blessings of La Roja be on you, worker.
Lef managed to croak some words before the man left to go get more of the colonists.
This is wrong.
The man glanced back for a second before leaving. Lef sat up and looked around. He was sitting in the pen Sue had showed them. He spotted the others that were taken with him, plus some colonists, more than could have been captured in that short of a time. Lena approached him as he cursed to himself.
They must have gotten in through the airlock as well as the boarding ramp,
he muttered. Lena plopped down beside him, and Lef couldn't resist giving her paw a quick squeeze before the others also sat around, forming a circle. Sue drew a shape in the dirt as he spoke.
It's the same pen, thank goodness. We have to go quickly. They won't start working us until they've concluded their sacrifices, but they'll start dragging foxes off before too long.
Celia glanced around nervously.
What? I thought you said preparations would take 12 hours.
Yes, well, the ritual takes 12 hours, but they need the subject for that duration.
Lef jumped to his feet.
You should have told us that sooner!
Lef was cut off by the pen doors bursting open as more colonists were brought in from the ship. The rest of them, in fact. Bowman approached the group, his smile baring his many sharp teeth.
Well, now that we've all gathered, I don't think there's any reason to wait.
Bowman pointed his claw at Lena.
Take her!
2 men stepped forward, only to encounter Lef, arms outstretched.
Don't you put a paw on her!
One of the men took hold of Lef and shoved him to the ground forcefully, while the other grabbed Lena as she attempted to run away.
Hey! Get off me, you brute!
Lena was dragged towards the door as Lef scrambled onto his feet and ran at Lena's captors. Bowman and the other cultist held him back. Bowman's grin grew wider.
Lef, I like you. In the creation tales, La Roja's bride was Wolverine, like you. I'm trying to help you. Rid you of that parasite so that you can be shown the true way.
Lef stopped struggling. He had 12 hours to save her, but he wouldn't take his time. Bowman and the other cultist rejoined the one taking Lena away. Lef ran to them and stuck his muzzle through the small barred window as far as it would go and shouted as they dragged her down the corridor.
I'll save you!
Lena tried to shout something back, but it was muffled by the bindings that were shoved into her mouth. Lef slammed his paw into the pen door multiple times. Celia stood behind him awkwardly.
We'll get her back?
Lef turned to Sue.
Where's the bathroom?
He said it as more of a statement than a question. Sue wrung his paws together.
Damn it, get a hold of yourself! It's my mate that's just been dragged off, not yours!
Feldo shook his head.
Wait, you guys are mates?
Celia dug her elbow into his side and flashed him the "now's not the time" look. Sue collected himself and pointed to a small door. Lef strode towards it.
Sue, you're with me. The rest of you, we won't be long.
The bathroom was no more than a hole in the ground, and the dim light from an old LED didn't produce enough illumination for either of them to see into the pit. But judging by the smell, it was clean. Sue gulped as he gazed into the abyss.
So, how do you want to do this?
Lef could swear something was staring back at him.
Hold on, I have an idea.
He left for a few minutes and returned lugging several straw bedrolls. He tossed them into the pit, trying to get them all to fall directly down into it to ensure they would be able to land on them. Sue looked into the pit again, then gestured to it. Lef sat on the edge as he looked up at Sue.
I hope your schematics were right and it's not a 30-foot drop.
He psyched himself up and dropped into the pit. In midair, his instincts took over as his body twisted not a moment too soon and landed him on all fours onto one of the bedrolls. Sue's shadow peered at Lef from the top of the pit.
Lef! Lef! You okay?
Just peachy. Get down here.
Sue was much more careful. He dangled himself from his paws before dropping, reducing the height of the fall by 5 feet. He landed without much trouble. Lef hauled himself up.
Why didn't I think of that? Come on, help me find the hole.
They felt the sides of the pit around the circumference of the room. Lef was beginning to fear there was no hole, and as his mind raced with the possibility, his paw shot into the hole, almost causing him to lose balance. He mentally chided himself as he called Sue over.
Found it! You first this time.
Lef heard Sue crawl into the hole, and he followed suit. Lef suspected there was still some residue, so he tried his best to minimize the amount of contact he had with the floor and walls. After crawling for a good 10 minutes, Sue stopped and whispered.
Look. Light.
Lef peered around Sue, finding there was a faint afternoon light coming from the end of the tunnel. It seemed like the colony time and space time were very far apart here. After a short time, Sue climbed out of the hole and stretched his arms. Lef stretched his arms as well as he spoke.
Whew, I was starting to get cramped up.
Lef's voice trailed off as he looked at his paws.
Oh, son of a bitch!
Sue laughed his usual nervous laugh.
That's just dirt. Wash it off in the waves.
Sue and Lef quickly washed off the dirt on their paws in the rolling surf. If they had any interest, or time, the beach would have been a breathtaking sight. Most of it was covered with a fine layer of bioluminescent algae that sparkled along with the reflections from the sun. Lef waved his paws to dry them.
All right, where do we go from here?
Sue pointed to the top of a nearby hill.
We can get a clear view from there. Come on.
Before they reached the top of the hill, they got on all fours to minimize their silhouette. The hill indeed offered an excellent view of the compound, if it could be called that. The exterior was disguised as a bunch of ruins, the landing pad overgrown with weeds and any buildings intentionally collapsed and covered with plant life. The only evidence anyone lived here was the frontier, still parked on the pad, and the occasional figure moving to and from it. Lev squinted at the figures.
I think they're conducting repairs. Ooh, if they think they're going to take the frontier from me, then they are sorely mistaken.
From their vantage point, it was clear which building held the entrance, and soon the coast was clear. Lev sprang up and ran as fast as he could towards the nearest ruined building. Sue followed him as they bobbed and weaved between small shrubs. The building was only a few feet away.
What was that?
2 of Bowman's men stood at the entrance, pointing to where Sue had just moments ago ducked behind a crumbling wall. The one that did not speak snorted.
There was nothing. We gotta get these repairs finished before morrow.
I could have sworn I saw a flash of something just there.
The second feline grunted.
Then let's go and check.
The 2 walked up to the wall and looked around it.
See? Nothing. Now let's go.
They hurried back to the frontier. Lef let out his breath. It was a good thing they had time to dart around the corner. Now it was a straight shot to the entrance. They kept low as they quickly made their way to the ruined building. A large slab was removed from the floor, and a staircase descended into a dimly lit corridor. Once inside, Sue pointed to a corridor leaning to the left. He mouthed his message to Lef, who got the gist. 2 guards just there, pen behind. Lef nodded. Sue, being a cat in inconspicuous clothing, walked past the left passage with his face turned the other way. Then he called back, loud enough for the guards to hear.
Hey, I could use a paw here!
One of the guards looked at the other.
You go.
He yawned.
Hell no, he was talking to you.
The first guard sighed.
Fine.
He walked towards Sue.
Alright, what is it?
As soon as he rounded the corner, Sue dealt him a fast blow right to the windpipe, stunning him. Lef rushed the second guard, who stumbled to draw his weapon. He managed to get a shot off before Lef barreled into him, knocking him flat. Sue clubbed the first guard over the head with his own gun as he heard the shot. He dashed down the corridor.
Lef, you alright?
Lef stood and checked the guard's gun he had just lifted off his unconscious body.
Yeah, he missed me, but pretty soon someone's going to come to see what the sound was. We have to hurry.
Lef flipped the guard over on his stomach and spotted the ring of keys on his belt.
You go keep watch. I'll get everyone to the frontier. Then we'll go get Lena.
Yeah.
Lef tried the first key. It didn't work.
I wish you'd stop laughing like that.
Sorry.
One of the colonists near the door noticed Lef.
Hey!
Lef shushed him and tried the second key. It didn't work either. He spoke through the bars as he tried the third key.
Get everyone ready. Tell Celia to get over here. She's got more experience with firearms than me.
The colonists scampered off. The third key opened the pen, and Lef swung the doors wide open, and Celia and Rackham were the first to get out. Lef grinned.
Rackham, let's go take the ship back. None of the cultists on it are armed since they're there for repair work. Celia, help Sue. Soon we'll have some company. Here.
He handed her the gun. She set it to a lower energy output.
Understood. What about Lena?
Lef bit his lip.
First, let's get the colonists aboard.
Rackham and Lef led a stream of colonists down the corridor and up the stairs. Aboard the frontier, one of the cultists conducting repairs checked over his supplies. He called to a nearby tiger.
Hey, have you seen that huge wrench?
No, weren't you supposed to bring it?
The cultist sighed and stood up to find the wrench.
It's not my fault weapon fire loosened the power conduits on this level. Why do I have to?
As he went for the ramp, he was met with a figure that took up his entire field of view. It grinned at him.
Hello, sugar.
He didn't have time to scream before he was hit with the force of a jackhammer straight to his face, sending him bowling into the tiger. Celia's eyes were dead set on the end of the corridor, the rifle in her paws barely shaking as it was trained on the same place. Someone was coming. She could hear it. She glanced at Sue, who nodded. Two figures appeared at the other end, and Celia shot one of them. The other yelled.
Alarm! Workers are escaped!
Celia silenced the second, too late. Someone fired down the corridor at them, sending Celia back into cover. She poked out just in time to see Sue shoot one that was attempting to rush them. Three more appeared and began firing down the corridor.
Sue, we can't stay here much longer.
Sue hit a lynx as she peeked to get a shot at him.
You're right. Suppressing fire on 3. 1, 2, 3.
They rapidly fired down the corridor, sending the cultists' heads back. Sue and Celia backed up to the stairs quickly, still firing. They made a mad dash to the ramp of the frontier, where Lef and Zack were waiting impatiently.
Celia, you and Zack hold him off here. Sue, let's find Lena. We need to hurry. Feldo has detected that gunship. It's heading this way from another system.
Sue ducked behind the ramp they were using for cover. Celia shot the first head to pop out of the staircase with impressive accuracy.
About that, Lef, it's too dangerous. You'd be killed. Let's cut our losses and get out of here while we still can.
Lef's eyes widened.
What? You said we could save her! You bastard! Tell me where she is!
Sue stammered.
Lef, if I told you that, you run after her and get killed.
The cultists began to gain ground, using the walls as cover. A shot whizzed past Zack's head.
Guys, we're too exposed out here. I can't hit a thing anyway.
Lef slammed his paw onto the ramp. He remembered Rackham's words. He needed to think of all the colonists, not just his newfound mate.
God damn it! Sue, you've put me in an impossible situation! You lied to me, led me on, get inside!
They dashed inside, and Lef pressed the ramp's controls. His paw stayed on the button as he shook.
Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Lena!
He closed his eyes tightly, trying to prevent the tears from rolling down his cheeks. Sue stood on the ramp as it ascended. He looked at Lef, and something inside him snapped.
Ah! Fuck it!
He ran and jumped off the ramp before it closed. Lef opened his eyes to see Sue dive and land on the ground in a run. He quickly pressed the ramp's button again.
Sue! Get back here, damn it! Get back here, you martyr complex-having lying bastard!
Sue dashed towards a nearby building, a different one from the one that housed the pen. The cultists were caught off guard and didn't react fast enough to shoot at him. He was gone inside in 2 seconds. Lef grabbed the pistol from Zack and jumped behind the ramp again, shooting the guards closest to the door Sue had just gone through. Celia joined him, and they began firing at the cultists until they ducked behind cover again, yelling obscenities. Zack crouched just out of the line of fire, holding an SCOM which was connected to the cockpit comm system.
Feldo says the gunship is close. We've got maybe 8 minutes.
From where they were, they could see flashes of light coming from the building Sue had gone into, and they could hear plenty of yelling too. Soon, a figure emerged. Left tapped Cirlia's shoulder.
Suppressing fire, now!
They laid down fire on every wall nearby, keeping heads down low. The figure ran as fast as it could to the ramp, and to Left's infinite relief, he saw it was Lena. He climbed onto the ramp and pulled Cirlia up with him. They dove into the ship. Left yelled, even as cultists surrounded the room Sue went into.
Sue, don't be a hero!
Cirlia hit the ramp button, and the ramp closed slowly. The flashes of weapon fire didn't stop, and was still going on when the ramp finally closed. Zack barked into the SCOM, and the ship lifted off. Left turned around and was almost thrown off balance as Lena jumped into his arms and buried her face in his shoulder.
Lena! Thank God, I thought I lost you!
Lena broke off and wiped a paw over her eyes.
I wasn't going to let you escape without me.
She laughed. Left hugged her again.
I'm glad you're safe. I'm glad you're all safe. But Sue...
Cirlia shook her head.
Maybe he got away. We didn't see.
Her voice trailed off. They all knew it was impossible. They felt the ship accelerate, and Zack ran towards the engine room yelling,
"You guys better save the tears and lovey-lovey for later. We aren't out of the woods yet."
Felder was doing his best to fly the ship, but he wasn't a pilot. He looked back in relief as Lena, Lef, and Cirlia arrived.
Guys, that gunship just entered the system. We don't have much time.
Lef ran to the weapons controls, and Cirlia took the co-pilot seat and began transmitting a call on the police line. Lef grinned at Lena.
Take your station, Peach.
Lena sat in the pilot's chair. She took a deep breath and grasped the wheel.
Ready. What's your command, Lef?
Lef trained all guns to rear and waited.
Lena, do you think you can do a sharp turn along our Z-axis?
She thought for a moment.
It might blow out 1 or 2 thrusters, but I can do it. They won't expect it anyway.
Lef nodded. Cirlia looked up.
An Atrian ship is on its way. We're lucky there was one so close.
Cirlia's console beeped.
Left proximity alert.
I see it.
He took careful aim and fired all barrels at the pursuing ship's sensor array. Lights beeped at his station as 2 barrels misfired, but the rest hit their target.
Now! Z-axis!
Lena pulled up on the wheel hard, and the ship lurched along its Z-axis. Left's barrage had disabled the gunship's sensors, and the Frontier was already flying in the opposite direction by the time the backups came online. Bowman sat on the bridge, getting more and more furious.
Turn around! How could they get behind us like that? Re-aim weapons! Blow them out of the sky! I don't care if they all die!
The Frontier had a head start, but a ship hauling that much equipment was never a match for the speed of a top-of-the-line gunship, and soon they had a lock on the ion engines.
Fire all!
Bowman was cut off, however, when the ship rocked violently. One of the consoles exploded nearby, sending a cat flying. 2 cultists went to extinguish the flame when the comm blared to life.
Stolen vessel. This is Captain Prax of the Endless Ocean. Stand down. Depower your weapons or face dire consequences.
Bowman roared.
Roar! Come about! All weapons fire on that ship!
The cultists worked fast, turning on a dime and getting a blast off on the Endless Ocean. The ship's shields absorbed the energy from the blast and returned fire. The gunship's shields ate the first 2 pulse blasts, but the next 3 got through and hit the hull, rupturing several power relays and causing a chain reaction. The ship seemed to sit in space for several seconds, lifeless, when suddenly the reaction reached the reactor and caused a breach. Escape pods jettisoned as the ship exploded, sending debris far and wide, the fireball disappearing quickly as the oxygen burned up. Left sighed a long sigh of relief.
Ooh. Cirlia, hail that ship. Tell them thanks.
Cirlia's paw went for the button, but the console beeped first.
They're hailing us.
Left jumped into a seat and turned on the view screen. Prax's face once again appeared on it.
Hey, wait, I know you.
Prax smiled a toothy smile.
We've met. At SFSS 867. You've got some explaining to do.
Left smiled back.
Come aboard. I'll tell you all about it over some larva soup.